Before we start, there are some terms which we will use throughout this presentation, which I want to mention now. Patient and Public Involvement and Engagement, or PPIE, is the term used to describe the way we involve and engage patients and the public. The patients and public involved in this way are commonly referred to as public contributors. We're here to discuss how the Faculty of Biology, Medicine and Health's annual celebration event has become integral to the manner in which we include patients and public in our research and teaching. We first decided to host a celebration event to thank our community of public contributors, staff and students who collaboratively ensure that our research and teaching is relevant, meaningful and of a high standard. When planning our first celebration, we had no idea that this would become the foundation for so many of the ways that we involve and engage our public. In the beginning, our aim was celebratory. We wanted to bring everyone together in the community to say thank you, to celebrate their achievements. And we could see that there was a gap within the faculty because there was no other time that we could typically all meet up together. When we held our first event in 2015, we listened to each other's perspectives on PPIE, and it rapidly became clear that we all shared a common interest and a goal, and that meeting as a PPIE community really did help inform our projects, the infrastructure, our strategic framework and resources. So we soon realised that we could achieve more as a collective, as our attendees had their own expertise with lived experiences in all areas across biology, medicine and health. We introduced a clinic where researchers could access everybody's expertise, so that could help them inform and shape their research and teaching. And this had really positive results. For example, one of our researchers saw an increase in the number of the public completing a priority setting survey due to the input from our attendees.
Every part of it is co-produced with public contributors, researchers and staff through a planning committee. As the planning committee, we decide upon a theme, make sure that it's relevant to current events or trends in PPIE. We also want the programme to include a wide range of activities for all interests. We do things like suggest speakers, decide on an interactive workshop, and by evaluating past events, we can tweak this year's current event to make sure that it meets its purpose. We also feel that it's important to make the events as inclusive as possible, ensuring that there's no barriers to people attending. So we do things like we make sure that the chosen building is accessible, we reimburse travel and carer costs, we provide information ahead of the events to both attendees and speakers and make sure that everyone understands the language used. We also try to make sure that the programme is varied and includes things that people want to hear about. So it's not preachy and it's definitely not academically driven. We also aim to be creative in our approach and focus on different themes each time. Some of our themes have been things like partnerships and perspectives, celebrate PPIE, experience well-being, PPIE in a socially distanced world, and celebrating 5 years of PPIE. Our themes have featured such things as Tai Chi, singing and well-being activities, a project called What Colour Is Your Pain?, which was a drawing project where attendees were asked to simply draw and colour their pain with a view to seeing if everyone experienced the same type of pain in the same shape or colour. And yes, they did. And also like science busking entertainment. I never imagined that I'd actually learn to do science busking and entertain attendees during the lunchtime. The event also provides the opportunity for the Social Responsibility Forum to co-produce some of their work with attendees by holding mini workshops. And these sorts of things have included commenting on new web pages, thinking about what resources are needed, and contributing to the faculty's strategic framework. As a forum, we also found that the event was a good opportunity to launch new projects that many attendees might have been involved in, but not everyone was aware of. The three that come to mind are the Social Responsibility website, the toolkit for assisting researchers and teachers to involve public contributors, and the induction guide, which helps public contributors when they first start their involvement journey. As more people became involved in the event, we realised that there was an appetite to include an awards ceremony. These award ceremonies recognise and celebrate the commitment of public contributors, staff and students to PPIE. So we've now awarded 54 awards over the years and have featured categories including things like one-off projects or one-off events, newcomers for people who've only done PPIE for 2 years, a group award, and then this year, of course, we also featured a special COVID category for projects and people that went above and beyond during the pandemic.
And then along with the rest of the world, we had to adapt to what people described as the new normal of working in a more virtual world due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, this presented real challenges, as one of the best things about the celebration event was being able to meet up with friends and colleagues, networking and celebrating together in person, but also feeling a collective sense of teamwork when co-producing or providing feedback on our projects. We did nearly cancel our 2020 event due to the complications that arose because of the pandemic, but I'm really pleased that we decided to go ahead with it, as there was still a lot of PPIE to celebrate. Plus, we also wanted to provide a space for people to network who might be isolating. We realised that we couldn't organise the event in the same way as previous ones, and that there were new barriers and challenges because we'd moved our event to an online format. Now, we overcame these barriers through collaboration, thinking creatively, and also by co-producing our event, including asking our stakeholders what they wanted from an online event. We ended up tweaking certain aspects, including asking speakers to pre-record their videos, adding in a comfort break, but also encouraging our attendees to network via the chat. Our most recent event celebrated the last 5 years of PPIE in the faculty and included our first online award ceremony. For this theme, we had a range of guest speakers who talked about PPIE which had taken place across the last 5 years. We'd received really positive feedback from attendees from both our online events, including how, even though it was online, it still had the same celebratory feel as our face-to-face ones, and that they were pleased that we could all still come together in this way. We even co-created a resource featuring top tips on how to engage with people remotely, which we then shared with our PPIE community.
In terms of what makes the event work, I think it's about sharing a passion to make things better for individual lives and our communities, and the fact that it takes place through friendship, through collaboration, and together it really becomes a very productive and positive dynamic that's enriching on a personal level as well as a community level.
What do I think are the benefits of having these events? Well, first of all, I love them, and having everyone in one room is a definite benefit. I've met so many people along the way that I now regard as friends, so seeing them all in the same space, whether in person or on a screen, is great for me. Public contributors are so widely spread throughout the faculty, and we rarely get to network and meet people on other projects. So these events provide a great chance to meet other people, exchange ideas and thoughts, and have a good old natter about what it's like being a public contributor. And there's always something different. No two celebration events are the same, so it always feels fresh and exciting.
In terms of highlights, I think every celebration event has had its own unique flavour. But I have to say, coming together in the summer of 2020, when we were all coming out of the first pandemic lockdown, felt very special and gave us a really lovely opportunity to connect to each other and support each other through that very difficult period of time.
Now, the celebration event is one of the highlights of my year. It's a really great event, the fact that I can be creative. I get to work with our public contributors and staff deciding on the theme and speakers, etc. But it's also a way to find out about the different PPIE work taking place across the faculty. And especially this year, one of my highlights was the awards ceremony. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to do this in 2020, but it was so pleasing to see all the different applications of all the amazing work taking place and seeing how pleased everyone was at receiving the awards.
I guess the highlights for me are the awards ceremony. Just finding out about the diversity and range of projects being carried out throughout the faculty and being able to reward those people who've done really well. Of all the celebration events I've been involved with, though, the absolute standout for me was definitely the singing. How the lady got a beautiful sound out of 10 people who couldn't sing in 15 minutes, I'll never know, but it was wonderful. That was a truly creative co-production. It just makes me smile thinking about it. Why do I think it works? Cooperation and collaboration. We're all going for the same goal, that is really to just let everyone enjoy themselves and to be able to say thank you for all the efforts during the year.
The benefits have been enormously rich, from seeing how conversations at these events can turn into significant and valuable collaborations, to really just having the opportunity to come together to share our collective passion for PPIE and the shared desire that everybody in the community has to keep moving forwards, to keep improving, to keep trying new ways of doing things so that more people can benefit from the research and teaching that we're all involved with.
So for further information about our work, you can visit our website, you can sign up to our monthly newsletter, or you can follow us on Twitter.